Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is the 10K Project. My name is Tawana Rivers, and we have another amazing opportunity this evening where we celebrate and love on additional Black founders this week. This week, we have the Burdines joining us. And guess what, y'all? They have an opportunity for investment in Belize. So not only is it a hotel opportunity that we love, the real estate deals, but it is international and in Belize of all places, one of the most beautiful places I've seen. I recently saw a documentary on it, and I just kept thinking the water was so beautiful. Like I couldn't stop staring at the water. And so I
Right?
cannot wait to hear more about this opportunity. Thank you guys so much, Bruce and Kameko, for joining us this evening. I am going to start out by sharing your campaign page because we want the people to know where to go
Okay.
after they decide that they like what they've heard. So I am going to click on the campaign page, and it is the Gaia. Am I saying that right?
Gaia.
Gaia.
Gaia Belize Hotel Opportunity. It's on Vesta. So those of you know, we've been to Vesta a few times this year. I'm excited about all of the opportunities that the CEO, Devon, is bringing to the community. She's doing such a good job over at Vesta. So, Devon, thank you so much for having this platform, a place where everyday investors can go and get some amazing opportunities. This opportunity is a Reg CF offering. 115,000 is raised thus far of a $2 million raise. That's from 21 investors with a minimum of 2,500 per price share, which is a very nice entry point for this opportunity, in my opinion. It's a Reg CF. You'll hear more about Kameko and Bruce as they talk to us and share information about who they are, how they got into real estate, and obviously about this beautiful boutique hotel that we're going to hear all about. You guys know I always tell you, please, please, please look at the entire campaign page when you're considering an opportunity. The founders put a lot of time and energy into building this campaign page because they know what you need to know in order to decide if this is a good investment for you. And so all of the information here is valuable information, and we want you to read it. So I'm just going to scroll down so you can kind of see where everything is, right? Some amazing FAQs. Obviously, this evening, you'll get an opportunity to ask all of your questions here. But if you think of something later, this is the place you want to come back to so that you can ask your questions and they will respond. I love the Q&A section on the campaign pages because you also get to see what other people ask. And I oftentimes learn things I didn't even know to ask, right? That I should be asking when I look at other people's questions sometimes. So please spend some time there as well. All right, so you can see all of that information. Here are your SEC disclosures, your Form C form. And so you want to be able to go and take a look at that. If you forgot how to read that, we do have a training in the Knowledge Center that explains how to read the Form C. So if you're needing that, just reach out and we will point you in the right direction. All right, I am going to stop sharing with that said, and I'm going to turn it over to the two of you to tell us all about this opportunity in beautiful Belize.
All right. So we're going to share. That PowerPoint that you saw is very similar to one that we're going to do today. Here we go. All right. So we are Bruce and Kameko Burdine. We are the founders of this Gaia International Boutique Hotel. We are very, very excited to share it with you guys. And hopefully a whole bunch of you become co-owners with us. So we're going to start off a little bit about ourselves. So we are married, and we are both anesthesiologist assistants by day and real estate investors every other second. We started off in short-term rentals. We have 5 properties down in Florida and a couple in the Tennessee area.
Yeah, we have a little over $1 million portfolio in short-term rentals. That being said, we knew that we needed to scale our short-term rental portfolio. And the best way to do that is to basically put everything under one door or
Under
under
one
one
roof.
roof.
Yeah.
So basically, we thought about it and we thought about doing bed and breakfast. We're going to do a small bed and breakfast. and we parlayed that into a boutique hotel in Belize. So when we when people ask us like how do we figure out to invest in Belize, the story goes like this. Kamiko's parents retired to Panama, the country of Panama, and we knew that we were going to visit them numerous times. So we wanted to get a condo or something that we could also rent out short term because we were in the short term
Yeah, rental.
business. Um, and I started researching online for real estate. And as I was searching online for real estate, I came across this country called Belize, and I was like, "Man, I've heard of this before. Let me research it a little bit more." And the more I researched it, and the more I grew to understand the benefits of Belize and how great an opportunity Belize was. Um, Guys, in the comment section, if you could tell me if anybody knows where Belize is, just go ahead and do it because I've asked this question before, and I'm gonna say some people were really far off.
See, near Brazil, there,
Anybody else? Got to guess.
somewhere in South America,
Close.
Central America, been there, Central South America, next to Mexico. Okay, that's probably the closest one that we've
I
gotten.
love it. But
So,
it is Central America.
yes.
Right.
All right, let's slide.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll show you a slide that tells you exactly where Belize is. So if you don't know where it is, now you're gonna know. A little bit about this raise. So we've already raised 3.5 million through private equity with accredited investors. The goal is 5.5. And we really wanted to take that last 2 million and open it up to, our communities and to people who may not have been able to invest in something like this. So we partnered with our mentor Devon, and we wanted to bring this CF campaign and make it reasonable enough for people who are just everyday investors who might want to branch out and expand their portfolio. So that's why we decided on a minimum of 2,500 until we reach the 2 million mark.
Right. So a little bit about the first raise. So we did raise 3.5, but in actuality, we raised 5.5. And we went back to our first round of investors and asked them if we could lower their amount of raise to 3.5 so we can give everybody else an opportunity to invest. And so they have agreed to invest the difference. So if we raise, let's say, a million with a CF, then they'll up their 3.5 back up to 4.5 and to make up the difference. So regardless of what we raise in the CF, the construction of the hotel will go forward.
Okay, so why owning equity in Gaia is probably different than some other commercial real estate partnerships that you've seen. So for this property, you will actually be an owner. Um, it's not like you're purchasing equity in the hotel,
Yeah.
right? It's not a debt raise. It's not like you're giving us a loan. Like you will be an owner for the lifetime that you own your shares.
Yeah. You see in other investments where they'll ask for a debt, right? So they're asking you to invest. They'll take your money, and then within 5 to 7 years, they'll give you a return on it, and then basically buy you out after 5 and 7 years, and then your investment in that hotel is done.
Yeah. Um, so for this property, this is a legacy property for us. Fun fact, our first child is due in March. And what we really love about this project is that it will be a generational wealth and really a jumping off point for our family and for all of the families that decide to invest with us. So we have no future plans to sell or flip the property or, to pawn it off to, a Marriott or a Hilton or anything like that. We really want to keep this within the family and continue to cash flow in the long term.
So this is mainly a cash flow deal, and the best thing about it is that we thought about it, and we know that you can transfer your equity generation to your children. Their children can pass this equity down to their children, as long as we have the hotel and we have
Cash flow,
cash flow.
your family will be making money. But then sometime down the road, hopefully it's like 50, 70 years down the road, if we decide to sell it, your family would receive your proportionate share of the equity.
Because it's equity.
Right. All right. So where is Belize? So whoever said it's next to Mexico, that is absolutely correct. So Belize is going to be just south of Mexico in Central America. I don't know if you can see my cursor here, but here's Mexico. And then this whole country right here is Belize, and it also has an archipelago of islands off the coast. The island that where Gaia is going to be built is called Ambergris Key. It's the northernmost island of Belize. And when you zoom in here, it's about 20 miles long.
27 miles.
And the main town there is San Pedro. So that's where everybody flies into. And then where the hotel is going to be is the most popular beach area of Ambergris Key called Secret Beach. And you can see the little red star. That's where the hotel will be located.
Right. It's actually the #1 tourist spot in all of Belize. So it receives about 33% of all incoming tourists
Mm-hmm.
go to Secret Beach.
Yes. All right. Here. So part of the reason why we chose Belize is that it is one of the fastest growing Caribbean destinations in fastest in the Caribbean.
It is.
Yeah. So just from 2023 to 2024, and obviously this is post-COVID, Belize tourism has been up 30% just in 1 year. And I believe this year it's projected to go even higher.
Yeah, it's recovered the fastest, and people are starting to figure out about Belize. I
Mhm.
know most of you are starting to hear about it, or somebody who's gone there. It's booming. And what I'm saying, you guys, is that Empress Key in Belize, and this is just our prediction, is going to be the next Tulum, the
Mhm.
next Cancun. If you try to get into Cancun or Tulum right now, it's impossible. The price went crazy.
Yeah.
But we can get into Secret Beach, the #1 tourist spot right now, ground floor. You guys want to join us?
Yep. And so some of the advantages of investing in Belize, and this is something that we found with international investing. So we decided to go out of the United States after COVID hit, just because of the
Interest rates.
the interest rates, the price hikes, just how crazy the economy went. And so that's part of the reason why we started looking outside of the U.S. Um, benefits of Belize is it's the only Central American country where English is the official language. So all of your contracts, all of your deeds, everything in the government is in English. Right. So that makes it much easier to do transactions. It makes it much easier to understand everything that's
Not
going
as
on.
scary.
Yeah, it's not as scary. Obviously, tourism is booming, as you can see by the stats on the left. And tourism is one of the highest grossing parts of income producing for Belize.
Yeah, it's like their #2 GDP. There's no capital gains in Belize. As long as we keep the money international, you will not pay a capital gains tax on any of the. Also, it has low property taxes. So it's based on unimproved land. And it doesn't increase. So if we bought a property, hypothetically, we'll use easy numbers for 100,000. Even if we built a $10 million hotel on it, it's not going to be appraised at
$10 million.
10 million one, right?
Yeah.
It's still going to be at the $100,000 mark.
Yeah.
And
So your yearly taxes are somewhere between like 1% and 3%. So it's going to be about
0.1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it 0.1?
It's 0.1.
I'm not the math person.
But it's all good. It's 0.1 because what happens is that our property taxes right now it's about $180 a year on our land.
Yeah. One of the great things about the islands and even the whole of Belize, it is not saturated. So there's a lot of foreign investors, but they're not developing quite at the rate that I think the area could handle. And so we're on the ground floor of a really booming economy, and I think it's really just going to take off once everything gets there.
And the reason we believe that, right?
Yeah.
And here it is in #7, is that even when I started researching it, there was a Hilton and a Marriott, and that was 2.5 years ago. And right now, Marriott's building their second hotel. Margaritaville has
Opened last year.
opened last year. They have a second Hilton, IHG, which is Six Senses. I don't know if you guys have heard of Six Senses. It's a super.
It's a super like eco
high-end.
high-end luxury overwater bungalows. They only have about, I want to say 7 or 8 properties across the world, and they're very, very particular on where they put their properties because it costs them about 20 to 30 million to build and to put the infrastructure and to put these properties together. So they are very selective, and they chose Secret Beach.
Right. So their newest one that they're building right now is going into Secret Beach, and Four Seasons.
Oh yeah, Four Seasons bought one of the islands off the coast of Belize. It's about I would say 2 miles away from Ambergris Caye, and they are building their own island resort. So if that doesn't tell you that Belize is the place to go, then I don't know what will.
Yeah.
All right. So on the left is one of our renderings of the lobby. So things that are unique about Gaia, it is a boutique hotel. It's a 20-room boutique hotel. And one of the things that we don't like about the flagship hotels is that you can tell it's a hotel, right? So we didn't want to go into this beautiful country and ignore all of the things that makes Belize great. And one of the things that's awesome about it is its rich Mayan culture and heritage. And so we wanted to pay homage to that, both in the structure of the hotel and the design elements inside the hotel. So each floor in Gaia is going to represent one of the four elements, which was hugely important to the Mayan culture. The ground floor is earth, obviously. The second floor is going to be water, third floor fire, and the top floor is air. And then on each of those floors, each room will represent an aspect of that element. So every time you come and stay, it's a different experience.
Yeah, you can come 20 times, have 20 different
20
experiences.
different stays.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel that we're building is going to be 6 floors total. So the lobby floor will have the gym and spa, as well as retail, and then the 4 element floors. And then we also have a rooftop restaurant and bar that will double as a wedding venue as well. And so that'll be the tallest venue in Secret Beach.
To date.
To date. Yeah. Right now, you're going to find a lot of like Airbnb, bungalows, some smaller casita style resorts, nothing more than 3 stories. Yeah.
So when you're standing on that rooftop restaurant, you're going to see views on views just of the bluest waters you've ever seen. We also are avid travelers, and we've traveled to numerous countries and continents, and we know that certain stays are basically the same. You know what I'm saying? Like you go into it, that's what she's saying. Like we go to a hotel, it's a hotel. But when we stayed at certain places, that gave us an experience.
Yeah.
That made us feel like VIPs. That made us feel special. I mean, whether it, it'd be a hot towel or a cold towel when we first buy a drink.
A turn down service, or they start the fire for you in the fireplace without even asking. Like those little touches, like that's what the traveler nowadays is willing to pay for and willing to spend the extra dollar to really feel like everything was worth the headache of travel and the headache of going to a place,
Right.
And so that's what we want to provide to our guests. And we kind of liken it to, if anybody's ever seen like the yacht shows,
A below deck.
yeah. Where, they know exactly who's coming. They know you by name. They know your picture. They know your food preferences, your allergies, what activities you want to do that week. And it's all taken care of before you even arrive. And so that's the kind of service that we want to have at our boutique hotel.
Yeah. So there at Gaia, there won't be a traditional check-in service. We'll already know you're coming. We already have your basically like your profile coming. We know what excursions you want to go on. We know when you want to eat and what's going on. We know your allergies. So that kind of VIP service is what Gaia is going to offer.
We'll have the only elevated pools in Secret Beach, so there'll be a pool both on the second and the third floor. And then the location is prime. So if you've never been to Ambergris Caye, there is one road that leads to Secret Beach. It's an east-west road, and we are at the very end on the corner. And so whether you want to go north to Six Senses or south to some of the other beach bars, you have to pass by this corner, and it's impossible to miss. So we really have probably the best location that you could have in Secret Beach.
If you Google Secret Beach and you see the sign that says Secret Beach where everybody takes pictures, that is literally 10 feet away from our property.
We're going to have amenities, like I mentioned, as our wedding venue. We also have a conference area that can double as a rainy day reception area. We'll have the largest gym on that side. So we also didn't want to forget about the locals, right? So when you invest in a foreign place, you got to make sure that you're also taking care of the communities that are going to be helping support, you know, this venture that you're taking on. And one of the things that we've talked to that live over the people that live over on that side, that there's no gym. They have to drive 40 minutes into town to go to the nearest gym. So we would offer memberships into the hotel gym so they don't have to drive as far to be able to get their morning workout in. We'll also have the largest spa retreat that will be air conditioned. Some people like to get massages in the heat on the beach with the bugs, and some people like to be inside. So we'll have that option. We'll have the commercial areas, which will provide retail profit, conference rooms. So if people want to have corporate retreats, we'll have AV systems and all of that available as well. And then also access, we're in talks with partnerships with other property owners to access their beaches as well. Because the beaches that are in front of where the hotel are located is mostly beach bars. It's a little bit of a party vibe. And so we wanted to give the option to our guests to go to a quieter place.
Quieter private beach.
Mm-hmm.
There's two ways to get to Secret Beach once you arrive in San Pedro. You can take a golf cart, which is the main mode of transportation in Ambergris Key. So when we say like Secret Beach is 30 minutes away or 45 minutes away, it's by golf cart, which is top speed is 15 to 20 miles per hour. So even though it sounds like it's far, it's really not that far. It's just that your mode of transportation is slow.
slower.
Um,
Funner, but it's slower.
yeah. So you can drive a golf cart all the way to Secret Beach, or you could take a boat. And Gaia will offer both unique shuttle service.
Yeah. So whichever your preference is, some people obviously get seasick. It's really not choppy water, especially on that west side of the island. We're protected by the barrier reef, which, fun fact, is the largest living barrier reef and the second largest overall barrier reef behind the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. So you really don't get any choppy waves or on a day-to-day basis. The only time that it gets kind of rough is when a storm is coming through, and that's pretty rare.
Right. I can probably walk out 200-300 feet and it only comes up to my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no waves.
Another unique thing that we're going to offer is for our air suites, which are the larger suites. They're 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms with kitchen. Those suites will have individual butlers. So say you want to cook a meal at home, you text your butler and be like, hey, we need some groceries. That person will go out and get it. There you say, hey, I want to go fishing. They'll be the person in charge of getting that excursion taken care of. And then the other 3 floors will have a butler for each floor that the guests on those floor can contact for any amenities that they would like to take advantage of.
So that is the concept of Gaia.
That we're very, very excited about. All right. So money, obviously numbers are super important anytime you're making an investment.
So we have acquired the land. So we bought one parcel and we bought the neighboring parcel.
Mhm.
And that's how we created Gaia. The land acquisition cost was a little over $1 million, which we have already purchased. So titles in hand. Construction costs will be a little bit around approximately $10 million. Like we said, we've raised 3.5, which could go to 5, but we're offering 2 million to the CF fund. And the rest of it will be debt. We'll get a bank loan.
Construction loan. The total soft costs for years 1 through 3, that includes like marketing and all of those fun things that you have to do to get a hotel off the ground. We're estimating around 2.2 million. So the total cost to get everything up and running is going to be about 13 million. What that means is because it's a development, we're not purchasing a property that already exists. The first 3 years is a hold. That's for construction and also soft opening. The way that Belize works is that you cannot start selling rooms until you have your BTB license, and you can't get your BTB license until the construction is done.
Until it's finished.
Yes. And they'll give you a whole list of stuff that you need to have. And they come through and inspect each phase of construction. So then the stabilization period, we're estimating about from years 3 to 5. So that's 2 years after the construction and opening phase. And those years would be a possible return for investors. We don't want to promise that there's going to be returns in those years. But we do expect post year 5, there will definitely be returns for all investors that are coming into the project.
Yeah. So just to recap, years 1 through 3 is that we're getting our feet wet in the area and getting our occupancy up. Years 3 through 5 possible returns, but we don't want to promise that. We want to
Under promise and over deliver.
Years 5,
and on
we are very confident about
returns.
returns.
Yeah. And I just had a thought in my brain.
It's okay.
It's gone. Okay, it's gone.
So so $2,500 equals one of 600 shares that we're offering in Gaia with the CF. So numbers wise, year 5, our gross revenue is projected on the on the light side. We're projecting 2.7, 2.8. Expenses being a little under 900,000 with a net income of just shy of 2 million. Based on those estimates, we are predicting a approximate 8.4%, but that is just a projection.
18.4.
18.4%. Thank you.
And then those revenues are based on low occupancy rates. So the occupancy rate average in Belize in the low season is anywhere from like 50%, and then in the high season can get all the way up to like 95%. Those revenues for year 5 are based on occupancies of like 25 to 65%. So we're even estimating low occupancy, low nightly rates, and we're still seeing returns of 18.4%. So just keep that in mind, that it could be higher than that. All right. And so fun stuff. So we're doing an exclusive incentive for the 10K project.
I thought we have a little fun with the name.
Yeah. So so if you come in with at least 10K minimum, you will get a 10% off the nightly rate for 10 nights per year for 10 years from the grand opening.
All right. For those of you that want to do a little bit more, we're going to offer this incentive too for a minimum of 20K. You're going to get everything that we just listed, but you're going to get that 10% off
For life.
for a lifetime.
And then bonus for the first 10 people that come in, you will be invited as VIP guests for the soft opening, completely free stay for 4 nights. And you get to be one of the first people to experience our concierge status, amazing, below deck,
but above
on land
on Cedar
stay.
Beach.
And then some of the fine print around this. So the primary investor has to make the booking and be present during the entire stay. The discount is going to be non-transferable, and then it is subject to obviously availability of rooms.
Yeah. The reason we do that is we can't just, we don't want you to be like, hey, I'm sending my cousin to use it. We want you to come and visit your hotel.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we're doing that. Next slide.
Yeah, there we go. And I can go back so you can kind of see one of the exterior renderings of the hotel. I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Can you see the cursor? Guys, can you give us a heart or a thumbs up?
We can see it. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, so down here on the left is a little bit cut off, but there's going to be 4 retail spaces over here. And that is directly adjacent to the road. So you get all of that foot traffic that's coming through, people coming off the beach, and they're like, oh, I don't have any sunscreen, or I need a towel, or my flip-flops broke. So, stuff happens when you're on vacation.
And you need that quick convenience store?
Yeah,
It's
so
right there.
those things will be available there. Right in here is the lobby. These first set of windows here is the gym. It'll have its own separate entrance. So anybody from the community who has a membership can go directly in. They don't have to walk through the lobby. These windows over here are going to be the indoor spa. And then this second level that you see, this is the first elevated pool. And this is our kid-friendly sun pool with a drop-in bar. There's also a little outdoor kitchen area where we'll have like pizza oven and stuff available. And then the Earth Suites will be directly adjacent to this pool. Right here is our conference and wedding reception rainy day area. And that will be fully AV equipped. The third floor here is the water floor. And this is what we call our moon pool. And so this will be an infinity pool that looks directly out across the ocean. And then this part is designed to mimic the night sky. So when the sun goes down, these light up and they look like stars. And then each room on the water floor has its own private plunge pool as well.
You can see it kind of
Yeah, you
right
can-
there.
Right there. It's kind of hidden behind the palm trees in the rendering, but
And
that is one of the features of the water
yeah,
floor.
an elevated plunge pool, private.
Then the fire floor, this will be a community fire pit area. We'll have s'mores at night. Or, you just want to cuddle up and read next to a fire pit and just enjoy the outdoors. That area will be available for Gaia guests only. And then,
So where you see that orange, that's onyx, like right?
yeah, it's like an onyx stone and it's backlit. So it'll resemble fire on that floor. Oh, yeah. And each floor has a unique look and style to it as well, if you couldn't tell. And then up here is the air suites. There are 4 air suites. The 2 large ones are the tutus on the ends. And then we have 2 suites in the middle that are more studio style, and they will double as getting ready suites for bride and grooms. And this one has like a mirror reflection. So when you're looking up at the hotel, it reflects the sky.
Yes.
Kind of cool. And then you can kind of see the exterior. We're using faux stone to mimic the Mayan temples. And then it's cut off in the picture, but I'll see if I can find a better one where this angle that's coming down here is reflective of the shape of a Mayan temple. And then last but not least is our rooftop restaurant, which we specifically designed to be able to host wedding ceremonies. So the double doors open in the center, you have the altar at the end, and you'll get those beautiful sunset photos that everybody kills for at a wedding.
Right. When there's not a wedding, we also offer that for couples dinner.
Yes. And then there's a private dining area over here that we could offer as like a chef's table, or birthday dinners if you need a little bit more seating than just a couple's table. There's a private dining area over to the side. All right, okay.
Guys,
Now we go to questions.
let's see this chat.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The attention to detail is amazing. I love how you incorporated the culture. I can't wait to visit. Right, let's just leave it at that. I cannot wait to visit. Absolutely beautiful. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
Well done. Oh, so exciting. All right, guys, I already see some questions in the Q&A. If you have any, please put them in there, but I get to go first, right? Because I too am a potential investor. First of all, I love that this is an equity deal, right? I just love everything about it. The building true legacy happens with equity. And
Yes.
so thank you for making it an equity deal. I want to talk a little bit about the day-to-day operations. So will you have a service that will run things? Are you guys planning to early retire and run the hotel? What's the plan for operations?
It is both. We do plan on being there and being hands-on, so we're not going to just hand it off. But we do have a Belizean management company that is coming in to handle the day-to-day operation.
Yeah, with oversight.
With oversight, with us peering over the shoulder.
Yeah.
I love it. Very, very good. And let's talk, you talked about that budget, the soft cost budget, that includes marketing and things like that. Can we talk a little bit about marketing and what your marketing
Yes,
plan is?
of course.
Yeah.
So our marketing plan, when we first opening, we're going to do a lot of social media. We do have quite extensive list, and we have 2 personal friends who are social media influencers who do travel channels that have over 4 or 5 million followers and subscribers. They're willing to come and do exclusive content there. So that's how we're going to do the soft opening. We also do. We also are setting aside quite a few bucks to market on social media, plus some commercials in around the Caribbean.
Nice. Very, very good. Let's talk a little bit about the average nightly cost. We talked about occupancy rates, right? But what's the cost? Like what's the and who's the target audience, right?
All right. So our target audience is going to be, the up and coming Gen Z all the way up to the Gen Xers who are a little bit closer to retirement. So that whole age range, and we find that those people are the ones that want the experiences and they want those unique stays. And like people like us, like we travel and we want to feel like we got our money's worth. Our average nightly cost in the low season, the rooms are going to range from about, I would say, 270 at the lowest, all the way up to about 800 for the suites. In the high season, I would say the lowest is going to be about 350 to 400, and the suites can go all the way up to 2,000.
Very
And
good.
if you
That
don't know the high and low
good.
season in Belize, the high season runs at the end of November all the way until like end of May, early May.
Mhm.
And then low season is in between that because that's when rainy season is. Rainy season happens over the summer.
But Belize is like they're the BTB, the Belize Tourism Board, is trying to make low season not happen. I mean, they're doing Lobster Fest, they're doing Music Fest, they're doing everything during the low season to increase tourism.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going back there this coming year for Lobster Fest, which is July.
Yeah.
July.
Yeah. Baby's going to have all his vaccines and his first trip to be international.
You guys
I love
in
it.
July and let us know.
Yeah.
I love it, love it, love it. So that's really good. Okay. And I think those rates are really reasonable for what you're getting. I mean, you're talking butler service, right? Anytime you talk about butler service, I already imagine what the
Yeah.
experience is going to be like, right?
Mhm.
And so I love that. It's what vacation should be.
Right.
These are for the young professionals and retirees who are willing to spend a little bit of money. This is not the backpacker hotel.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Wonderful. Okay, y'all. We going to Gaia, y'all. The next
Come
10K
on.
project retreat, we going. All right. Let's get to some of these questions. Anonymous says, given the location of Belize and the increasing number of major storms that traverse the warm waters, how will the hotel be bolstered for storms, and have you accounted for potential natural disasters?
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the construction.
Yeah. So the construction style is concrete and steel. And
Right.
then hurricane rated windows. Yeah, it's the strongest that you can build. Part of the design structure and requirements in Belize is that you have to build off the ground. And so the first 4 to 5 feet is a full platform. So that would help account for any storm surge. And that's also the reason why we didn't put any rooms on the very first floor either. Um,
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
it's all good. So that being said, Belize doesn't get hit with a lot of hurricanes, even though you saw two that were potentially going towards Belize. It didn't really hit. Also, you got to remember that we do have the largest living barrier reef there, which causes the storms to die down. And that barrier reef is on the east side,
East side of the
east side of
island.
the island, and Secret Beach is on the west side of the island. So it has to go over the barrier reef, over the island just to get to us. And by the time it gets to us, it's down to tropical storms at the most. So that's another reason that we wanted to do that side. Another reason we wanted to do that
Oh
side
yeah, it's
is because of
sarcasm.
sargassum.
Yeah,
I don't know
if
if you've been to the Caribbean where you see the seaweed. It's kind of like it comes onto the shores and
Mhm.
it smells like sulfur sometimes. That's sargassum. But that
That's what
only
that's
comes on the
called? Ah,
yeah, it only comes on the east side, right? And our hotel's on the west side, so it'll never experience that. It's going to be pristine white the entire time.
mhm.
with that against that blue water.
Yeah,
Blue water.
it's
Absolutely
gorgeous.
beautiful.
We
Wow.
took two groups of investors last year, and we went out into the waters of Secret Beach, and one went under, lost her glasses and her hat, and on the way out to the sandbar, and then on the way back looked down and was like, "Oh, there
There
they
they
There they
are."
are.
are.
Picked them up. It's like chest deep water, but it's clear all the way down, and
Wow.
it's beautiful. If you haven't been, just go. Even if you don't stay with us, even if you don't invest with us, go.
Go.
It's amazing.
Wow. Anonymous says, will Gaia offer all-inclusive options? If so, please give an example of those rates.
So it's not all inclusive per se because we want you to go out and experience the cuisine. We want you to go out off property to experience Belize. We don't want you. We don't mind you staying on property the entire time and spending your money with us the entire time, but we want you to go out to the bars. We want you to go out to Secret Beach. We want you to go out
The
to
San Pedro,
Pirates
yeah,
and all
San
this.
Pedro, and we also believe in building a community of other business owners, and so we want to support them as well. It's not just about how much profit we can make and how we can keep our guests,
like on property,
on property
the
and
entire
spending
time?
money. No, the beauty of Belize is the people and the experiences and
Because there's multiple cultures.
yeah. And so we would hate for people to just come and stay at the hotel, which is a fantastic experience, but the point of going to another country is to experience the country. So we probably would not ever offer an all-inclusive option.
Right. And another thing is like, I know some people want the all inclusive because of safety, but Belize is very safe. Ambergris Key is very safe. So we don't, and plus, if you want, our butler will go with you and take you to the restaurants and take you to the shoppings, take you everywhere you want to go. Um, but on the other side of that, if you wanted to stay on property the entire time, you can. We have a full service restaurant. We have a gym. We have a spa, right? We have two pools, plunge pools, whatever you want. Plus, you could do the excursions through the hotel. You want
Nice.
to go see deep sea fishing?
Fishing.
You want to go diving? You want to go snorkeling? We'll take care of that for you.
Very nice. Rain said, when do you project construction to start and finish?
So we're planning on breaking ground this year. Probably summer.
Summer towards the fall ish. That's when we're planning on breaking ground, just depending on how long do we really want to wait for the CF fund to get fully funded. But like I said, we can stop the CF fund at any time and just ask our first raise investors to come back in and go ahead and start. So
Yeah.
we're looking at midsummer towards the fall.
Yeah. And then construction, ideally 2 years, but construction is construction. So we're hoping that it would be finished by 2027.
26.
Yeah.
Okay. Rain
Which
said,
isn't that far off because this is now 25.
yeah, because this is already 25. That's not far at all.
Right.
Yeah,
I know it sounds
and
like
it's
it's far away, but
already
it's not that far
February,
away.
so it's not far
Yeah.
at all. It'll be here before we know it. Rain says, what is it? What is that little area on the ground next to the beach? Rain, was that was in
Mm.
which picture was that in? Let's go back to the pictures.
In this picture?
Oh, it has the
That it has
windows?
the windows. Oh, what area is
Okay.
windows?
Yeah. So the one closest to the entrance here, that's the gym. And then the windows further down, that's the spa.
Nice. That is a
And just so
beautiful.
you're aware, Gaia is not directly on the beach. We would not be able to build this high if we were directly on the ocean. So in here where these bushes are, that's also a road that runs north-south, and then a road that runs east-west right in front of the retail area. And then directly across the north-south road is going to be beach parcels. But all of the beaches in Belize are public. So the first 65 feet is Queensland. So
We could not close off the property. We have to allow people to be within 60 feet of the water. So safety reasons, we wanted to build further back.
Yeah.
Very good. Edward said, when is the deadline for investing?
Wow. So for the incentives or for the fund in itself?
Let's talk about all of it.
Okay. For the fund in itself, it's going to be at the end of 2025. So you got
all year.
11 months to make a decision. But because it is 11 months, we wanted to give an incentive. So the incentives are good for 30 days. Or we're going to say February, we'll say February 28th.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And the incentive is bananas. Thank you so much for the exclusive 10K project incentives. They are absolutely wonderful.
10, 10, 10, 10.
I
But
love
we
it.
added a 20. That 20 is crazy, guys. That's the discount for life.
Yeah.
Like as long as you own your equity shares, you will get that discount.
Yeah, that's really good. And I just want to, remind the community that, we give the deadline and it's, the end of 2025, But we all know, and we've been here before, right? That it really is slated for then, unless they raise the money before then, right?
Right.
And so if they raise the money before then it's a done deal.
And we'll close
And
it off.
so I am, I mean, y'all see these pictures and y'all see these numbers we just saw. Uh, I would venture to believe this deal ain't last until the end of 2025.
Yeah.
But wonderful. Jesse says, is Gaia or Gaia, excuse me, Gaia. I keep wanting to say Gaia. Is Gaia
Yeah.
the next hotel we're gonna name that one Gaia.
I love that.
Is Gaia a Mayan name?
No, it is actually a Roman Greek, but it means Mother Earth.
Ah,
Yeah.
which is very fitting when you think about the design and all the elements.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Right. When you think of earth, water, and it's Gaia, Mother Nature.
Yes.
Very nice. Larry said he joined a little late. What's the total number of rooms on the property? It was 21, wasn't it?
It's 20.
20.
Okay.
20 rooms.
And some of them, Larry, are 2-bedroom suites. So it's not just single rooms. How many 2-bedroom suites were there?
There's 2 2-bedroom suites, and both of them have kitchens and living rooms and dining rooms.
Well, the cool thing about that is that whole top floor is connectable. So if you're balling like that and you want that whole top floor, you can actually have that whole top floor and never leave. You can actually access it all the way through.
Yes.
We didn't talk about that, but you can bring the whole family.
Of course you can. It's the air floor.
It's the
Of
air
course
floor.
you can.
And you can have it all.
Yes. So that's something really cool here. And so that also gives flexible options when people are booking this for. So if they say like, oh, I really need
A 3-bedroom.
I really need a 3-bedroom. Okay, well, you would take one of the middle ones and one of the end ones. Or if they say like, oh, I really need 4 beds, then you could take 3 of the suites. If you're like, I need the whole floor to myself, and it's like I'm Dwayne the Rock's cousin, and we're bringing all of Samoa. Like we're gonna take that top floor.
That whole top floor, ball out.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
And then the other plan is to when you get your key cards to go up and down the elevator, it will only open on the floors that
You booked.
Okay.
All right. So the community spaces will always be available, but then before you get to the room doors, there'll be an additional key access. So even somebody who's staying on the earth floor, they can come enjoy the fire pits on the fire floor, but they can't go to the rooms.
Nice. Okay. All right. Miss Beulah has a couple of questions. She said, what if you have a family investment? So, Miss Beulah, what do you mean if you have a family investment? And then your second question is, what's the government stability? So while you clarify your first question, let's answer your second question. What's the government stability in Belize?
It's very stable.
Very stable.
The economy is tied to the U.S. economy. It's tied. The Belizean dollar is 2 to 1. So whatever the U.S. dollar is going to do, it's going to be tied to the.
Nice.
As far as what are we talking about? Like
Growth year on year, they've been great. It's been very, very stable from everything that we've seen. There hasn't been a whole lot of fluctuation.
not a lot of volatility.
No, I mean, like the political climate is actually very stable. They have democratic voting process. It's
So everything is based off of British common law. So
it's very similar to
similar to the U.S.
Yeah.
Very good.
Did we figure out what that other part was?
I
No,
think
she
she's probably talking about the incentive, I would think. Maybe if they're investing as a family unit, like how would the incentive work?
Maybe that's a good point. So let's talk about that a little bit, right? So we encourage, and let's go ahead and stop sharing, just so that we can be bigger on the screen.
Oh yeah, sorry. Stop.
When I
There we
think about, an investment opportunity like this, especially when we talk about cash flow and legacy, it's the perfect opportunity for group economics, right? So it is absolutely, especially when you add in the incentives, right? If we bring the cousins in, or bring auntie and uncle in, or grandma and grandpa, right? Whoever, get the kids all involved in this. This is a perfect opportunity to include your family and your friend network. And so, consider that when you're considering the investment, right? Don't think about just you solo. This is when you're sharing this information with all of those that you love, because this is the kind of opportunity that allows for that 20, 30-year cash flow, right? They just told you it's a legacy property. They're not planning to sell it. And while we all know that something could change down the line, when a founder goes into it with a plan, typically they don't veer from that plan, right? And so be mindful of that. This is the one that you think about including the entire family in. So Miss Beulah's question, while we're waiting for her to still clarify it, if you did the family investment, right? So I create an LLC, right? Rivers Global, right? And I go in with some of my family members. How could the incentives work?
With the LLC, you still have to designate somebody who's running that LLC. That would be the person that would be on the, I guess, the certificate or owning the shares, or not. The LLC will own the shares, but
Actually,
that
right.
person
And
would
then
need to
all of our
be
names will be listed as owners of the LLC, right? So in my
correct.
Right.
scenario, if I've got 5 cousins, right, all 5 of us
Correct.
are listed at
If
our
you list it,
percentage of ownership.
that's it.
Yeah.
Then all of you own it, right?
And all of us
Yeah.
own it. Then at that
Mhm.
point, because it's documented, right, we're all owners, we would all be able to, when we came, one of the 5 of us, we'd be able to benefit.
You can use it.
Yes.
And that's another reason why we limited it to 10 days.
That's right,
Because
right, right,
you can literally list
right,
20, and I could, and if we did 10 for each person, I mean, you would literally book out 200 nights, and
right.
then that would just, we would not have any more profits
To give back
to
to you.
give back.
Right, to give back. Right, exactly. No, the limit makes, I mean, the fact that you
Mhm.
offered this level of incentive is crazy town, right?
Mhm.
But you absolutely, it's even a reasonable limitation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Beulah said, my family invests the 20,000. Therefore, we travel separately to the property. Why are you not including generational opportunity? So based on what we just said, Miss Beulah, I think that is the answer to your question. And I think it's the answer you were looking for. Is that if you
Mhm.
invest 20,000 with the family, you would come in and you would do that as an LLC, right? So you wouldn't just come in as Beulah Oldham. You would come in as an LLC, list all of the owners, and then that way
Mhm.
all of the owners could benefit from the special. Very good.
Correct.
All right. Ms. Beulah's next question is, can you do installments like 5,000 per year until completion? So she said 5,000 times 5 years equals a $25,000 investment.
You could, but the incentives would run out. Like if you didn't meet the 10K minimum before February 28th, not qualify for the
Right.
incentives.
Right. And the thing about CFs, they can only run for a year.
Right.
So there's a year limitation. That is just how the SEC runs it. So if we did another one, we would have to do a whole nother CF. And I feel like that might get complicated with your paperwork. When we
Definitely would. Yeah. So Ms. Beulah, you wouldn't have time to do it. You could do installments by all means, but you wouldn't be able to do them yearly, right? So if you wanted to maximize and maybe you wanted to get to the 10,000, right? You could definitely do that over the course of time. If the campaign stayed to the end of 25, you would have a whole year to potentially fund as much as you could, as long as the campaign was still open. But you couldn't do that
But
annually.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like she could do the 10 and then do the fives later, but she will qualify for the 10 for sure.
Mm,
And then she could still invest the other amount because you're still getting a tremendous amount of return for that money.
yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. Jesse says, what determines the off season and low occupancy? So let's go over that again, just in case Jesse missed it when we went over
So
the seasons.
off season is rainy season. And then when it rains, the mosquitoes come out.
Mm.
That determines the low season.
And that's just not Belize. That's
That's the
just the
entire
Caribbean.
Caribbean. Yeah.
Caribbean. So the
Yeah.
mosquitoes are the problem here. Okay.
Mosquitoes are the problem. If you haven't been, I mean, if you go, it's a great time, honestly, because it is low season, less traffic, less tourists that are there means you get to do more things. And it's a little quieter. Prices are lower.
Yeah.
So even boat excursions and food and everything is cheaper during the off season. So if you could just lather up with
with the
mosquito
off and the
repellent.
repellent, like
All
it's
I've seen is the time to go.
yeah.
Mm.
You just have to be aware that sometimes it is going to rain. The island is still developing, and there are parts of Belize that are very much still developing. So there's going to be parts of the island where the roads get washed out. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of it is gravel roads. They're working on paving. That's part of the infrastructure that is being built up in Belize, and part of the reason why we're getting in now before it's all there and all the prices skyrocket because it's all paved. Um, and so there might be some things like you're like, hey, I wanted to go up to Margaritaville, but now I can't get there because I can't get there in the golf cart because the road is all rained out. And you might be thinking like, oh, I came to stay on the beach, but it rained the whole time. So that's just something to keep in mind. It is like most islands where it's going to rain on and off. You know, you
Mhm.
might get those afternoon showers and then
Mhm.
it's sunny again. But every once in a while you do get that, rainstorm that comes through and it just lasts for a few days. So.
Very good.
Can we
And
answer that question? Were we talking about occupancy too?
yes, yes.
Yeah, it's just because people aren't coming um in the years past for rainy season, right? But that's why the BTB is doing Lobster Fest. That's why they're doing the music festival. That's why they're doing all these things. So tourists are starting to come more during the off season. So, but we are still projecting 50%. Well, the island has a 50% occupancy during low season, and we're projecting like 25%. So we, like I said, we
You're
Yeah.
very conservative. Yeah, you're being very conservative on purpose.
very conservative on the numbers because
Yeah.
I want you guys to be super happy when you invest.
Yeah.
Not only, like you guys are investing your money, but we invested our money.
Yeah.
Um,
Our family has
our
invested.
family's invested, her mom's invested. Like we have some incentive to
To make
to
sure.
make everybody gets their money back.
I'll never
What-
hear the end of it.
No, I know. Nice. Anonymous says, let's see. Um, is there room, Jesse said, is there room for expansion from the 20 plus, or does too much development spoil the ambiance?
I would say too much spoils it. So we originally designed it as a 15 room.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got the initial plans back, some of the rooms were like
They
ginormous.
were like 500 square feet or something like that. That was like chop that in half.
Yeah. So we ended up adding 5 rooms, and then we felt like 20 was a good number. I think once you go beyond that, it would be harder for the staff. Like that's 20 families and 20 couples that you have to, know basically everything about, and that's a challenge. And I feel like once you get beyond that, like you kind of lose that intimate feeling, that exclusive,
Are you
private feeling.
are you wanting for us to expand? To increase more rooms, to increase revenue? Let me ask that question.
We like expansion.
We do have some
The reason I
thoughts.
was saying this is because we already have 150 acres on the mainland that is going to be the sister resort in the future. So it's going to be in the Cayo district. That's something in the future that we're going to talk
Yeah,
about. But we've
down the
already
road.
locked up that land, that pristine land. Um, so stick with us. Stay with us. See how this one goes. I got another one coming.
I love it. Okay, wonderful. Eddie says, I echo T. This is a stunning, and the character speaks as a degreed but non-practicing architect. You mentioned how quickly other brands are building. Are the timelines with government approval standard? Would really hate for many more to be built before Gaia is released for revenue. Also, did I miss how many rooms? So we talked about the rooms.
So in Secret Beach, the only other um, hotel that is being built is Six Senses, which is ultra luxury. We're talking $2,500 a night minimum, right? The other class of hotels are small casitas, Airbnb types. So as far as competition, we're the only ones in that tier of hotel. There's not one being built. The other hotels that are being built are in San Pedro and up the East Coast right now.
Nice. Here's an
So
interesting question. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say, Bruce?
No, that's it.
Anonymous says, do you foresee hooking up with a cruise company?
So the thing about Ambergris Key is that it's not very close to the cruise ports.
Okay.
That barrier reef, the cruise ships can't get close to it. They don't want you to get close to it.
Yeah.
So we're not close to the cruises.
So that's a little unfortunate part. They do track overnight stays versus like cruise arrivals, and I don't believe that there's any of the cruise lines that stay
Stay overnight.
overnight.
Okay.
They're all day excursions.
Mhm.
And so it's very hard for them to get from the mainland ports over to the islands. I think there's maybe like one or two, but like you stay on the island for like an hour or two and then you spend the rest of the time traveling back to the boat. So
Right.
Because we've done that cruise. We've done that cruise. We've gotten off. We spent 2 hours traveling to the Mayan temple,
Mhm.
and then we spent about an hour or two there. Got a couple of things, and then 2 hours straight back to
Then you
the.
got to
to
go
the boat.
back.
So we didn't miss the boat.
Yeah. So as much as we would love it, just like the geography of Belize doesn't really allow the cruise ships to come in. If somebody wanted to get off the cruise ship and come stay with us, they're more
Right.
than welcome to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice if you did a little land and sea. Yeah, kind of mix them up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very good. Dinah says, great presentation, and I love the building renderings. One question,
Yeah.
does the projected 1.9 million include projected income from gym memberships from the outside guests?
No, because we are still working on price points for that. And also, how many are we going to allow? That'll come down the line because we've got to see um, how much our guests are using the gym. We don't want it to be so overcrowded with locals that our hotel guests feel like they can't use it. So that's not including
Gym,
the
the
gym, the
spa,
spa,
the conference area.
yeah, conference area,
It's not including um,
wedding revenue either.
wedding revenue.
Wow,
This is
there's some
strictly
additional line
rest-
items that will be added in there.
Yeah.
yes, this is strictly restaurant and nightly rates or the projection.
This
That's
will
not
be
including
a nice
our cuts
surprise
in.
for investors. This all
That's
the
not including our
expenses.
cuts in on the excursions that they book, because obviously we do get a little kickback from being in the hotel. All that's revenue that
Mhm.
we're not including in the projection.
Very, very nice. Anonymous says, forgive me if this was addressed, but if an offer is worthwhile, are there any chances of selling the property to a larger corporation or even, excuse me, rebranding with a larger conglomerate? Is that an eventual goal or is this a legacy project?
So yeah, that's one of the first things that we said. And no worries, we can reiterate. It is a legacy project. This is something that we want to pass down generation to generation, to be in the family. We do not have plans to sell, and we also do not plan to run a flag. We, as much as we love our Hiltons and our Marriotts and our other things,
Reward points.
reward points. Um, we feel like a lot of times the brands have too much of a say in what goes on in a hotel, and like what soaps you can put in certain places and how you can advertise and how you can list and the platforms that you have to
You have
use.
to buy these certain towels. It's very restrictive.
Yeah. And so we really want this to be our family project and to bring the experience that we would want to have if we were guests staying at our hotel.
Trust me,
Nice.
we've been approached by Choice already. We said no.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
They are not wasting any time. Okay.
Uh-uh.
Interesting. I love I love some of the big brands as well, right? However, there is nothing like being on vacation at a boutique hotel, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're
Right.
traveling for work and I think brands they have their place in my opinion. But when you're on vacation on a beautiful island, you want something that feels and looks unique and is a really and it's experiential, right?
Mhm.
I don't want it to look like a conference hotel. I don't want to look like the same place I stay at when I'm at work, right? I want to
Right.
Right.
escape from that. And so boutique hotels are absolutely beautiful. I love the concept of just the 20 rooms also, because the other part of
Mhm.
that is you almost want to feel exclusive, right? You want to
Right.
feel like there's this a privacy component, right? I don't want to feel like I'm on the cruise with the 300 people, right? If I
Right.
Right.
did that, I would have been there, right?
You
I
were getting
want to
it.
be
You
with a few
understand
people.
it.
So I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I
You
get
want our
it.
staffers to look at you and be like, "Hey."
Hey, Miss Tawana, how's your day
Yeah,
going?
you know,
And I
that's
Be-
eat that kind of stuff up.
you
yeah.
want that pina colada
I
again? You
love
know,
it.
the one you ordered yesterday? We want that. That's the service.
Yeah. Oh, I'm already there.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Anonymous says in this past year, hotels, several have failed due to inferior concrete. What is concrete rated by the government? Hmm,
So
know
in
that.
Belize, right.
Yeah.
So I'm not a structural engineer. So I'm going to defer that question to our structural engineers. If you're asking me about concrete, I can't speak with any certainty about that. All I do know is that Belizean standards are the same as the U.S. standards,
Okay.
right? They still go through the same inspection process, the same permitting process, the same safety process. Um, but if you're asking me in like a grade of concrete,
Right, right,
And
right.
all we can say is that the builder that we are hiring, he has done many, many large hotel projects across Ambergris Key, and none of those have failed.
we
They are
we
they are
picked
all
him
still
because we've seen
standing.
his work, right? So yeah, he's one of the top builders in Belize.
Wow. Jesse says, oh, Jesse, I forget your other question that you were relating this to, but Jesse just made a comment that he's always thinking about convention groups. So
Mhm.
when you think about retreats and
Yeah.
the group trips, they would love a place like this. They absolutely would.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, very good.
Yeah, so we definitely built it out with all of those things in mind, and um,
With the AV, audio, visual.
yeah, and being able to even separate into several conferences if they want to have breakout sessions and smaller meeting areas, like that's also an option with that space.
Good. The final question I see here, so if you have any more questions, guys, go ahead and put them in the Q&A, but I see a question here from Mr. Larry Mickens. Larry has a wonderful company called Over the Top Ladder, so he is a founder like the two of you. He
Love it.
says, with the mainland property, would you entertain selling a 10 to 20 acre parcel within a couple of years? Not if they're
We've
going to build
actually thought
another
about that.
hotel on it.
We've thought about it. We do have 150 acres, and it's actually divided into 30, 30, 90. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30, 30, 90.
Hmm.
So we do have an option to sell 30. We've also thought about subdividing those 30 acres and selling each at an acre apiece. Um, ah,
It's
is he looking at my stuff?
I like that. I like that. Okay. Looks
But
like
we also
Larry's on
love
to
the idea
something.
of
Yeah.
a very exclusive 150 acres, like you know,
farm to
farm to
table.
table,
Um,
tree houses. Just
very that one we were thinking more of like the Airbnb style, but it's still resort feeling. But again, every stay is unique. And then a good portion of that we wanted to be able to do agriculture on there, and have a spice farm. So fun fact, the only spice farm in Belize is like 4 hours south. So that would be a fun attraction for the Cayo district that's not currently there. We did a spice farm tour when we were in Zanzibar and
Mhm.
absolutely
Loved it.
loved it. Loved it. Like learned so much that I was like, man, how did I not know this my entire life? Um, like
How
if
do you
you
Interesting.
like
know,
white pepper and
I'm
black
actually
pepper? I
going
didn't.
to Zanzibar next week. And we've
Sure.
got a spice tour.
yes. Oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so fantastic. Like one of the fun things we learned was peppercorn, all the
Mhm.
same plant. It's just a matter of whether when it's picked and if it's roasted.
Hmm.
Mm, I know. I know.
Who knew?
Interesting. Now you got me excited. Originally, I was like, that's the last thing I need is another spice. And I don't really need that I know to learn about them. But I definitely don't need to buy another one. But now I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's very great. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Zanzibar, is beautiful. And yeah, you're going to love it.
So we're
Nice.
taking all those experiences that we've had traveling, and if we can't put it into Gaia, we're going to definitely put it into Sister Resort coming up in
Yeah.
the future,
Nice. Very good. All
which
right,
will bring
guys.
back to the 10K project.
Right. What always, definitely. You family now. You stuck with
That's
us.
right.
I love this. We have one more question. Oh, Larry just said, yeah, he's all in your stuff.
Oh yeah, he was reading my mind. I was like, dang. I was like, okay.
Oh my
And
goodness. Okay. This has been absolutely amazing. I am going to give my final words and then I'm gonna let you guys close us out. But first of all, thank you for allowing us to be part of this journey with you. I really do love when founders take the route of investment crowdfunding. It's not something all founders have the time, the energy, right, or the resources to do. And so we know it is an extra lift to an already heavy lift of raising capital. But to allow the everyday investor an opportunity to get in on what is going to be your legacy is huge, and we do not take it lightly. So thank you very, very much. Um, to the community, thank you guys for showing up tonight. To all of you who are going to watch the replay, thank you for your time. This is one of those opportunities that is an equity opportunity, right? So it's cash flow, it's legacy. Um, you definitely want to do your due diligence as always, right? But you want to consider this. And even though Bruce mentioned that, the campaign's not going to be over until the end of the year, we know that a campaign can get the funds that they need really quickly. And then the campaign's over. Actually, a founder that we actually had already this year called me and said he had a meeting and he may get the influx he needs. And if he does, he'll have to take the campaign down. And
Mm.
so that's a beautiful problem, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful
right.
problem that he
It's a
got the
great
money
problem to
that he
have.
needed, right? It's a great problem to have. Not so much for those of you who were considering that opportunity, right? Because now you may not be able to get in. So I always just remind you that time is never on our side, right? And so if you are interested and you're ready to pull the trigger, I say pull the trigger. What are you waiting for, right? I'm not a broker.
Right.
This is not investment advice. This is life advice, right? If you know you want something, what you waiting for? Um, and so I'm going to tell you that the opportunity is there. You've got the campaign link. It'll be in the email we send you. It'll be in the newsletter that you guys get. That'll all be there for you to click on. What I need you to do more than anything else is I need you to share all of that information with the people you know and love. You can even share with the ones you kind of like, right? I mean, you really want to share this with people. Again, this is the kind of opportunity that most people will never, never have access to again, right? And so we don't want to be selfish with it, right? It's great that you all are part of this amazing community and you have access, but if we gatekeep and keep it to ourselves, as a community, we don't grow. And if I don't know anything else to be true, during these times that we're in right now, where from moment to moment, what we know as normal is changing, we need to be really thinking about the future, right? How we're going to make money in the future, where we're going to need to go live in the future, right? Like we need to be thinking about all of those things. And so, opportunities like this help us go to sleep a little better and easier without worrying about the future because we know we're putting things in place that are going to be a safeguard for us. So I'll just say that. So I am asking you to share the heck out of this campaign. Put it across your social media platforms. For all those people in your family that's not on social media, don't forget about them. Call them up, right? Print it out, right? Right?
Send a
Take your
text.
laptop or your iPad over to Granny's house and say, Grandma, look, right? We got something good here. But don't keep this to yourself. This is an amazing opportunity. We've got the 10K exclusive special, right? Those incentives. That's
Yes.
not something we get every day when campaigns come to visit us, right? So thank you again for that. Um,
Yeah. And if you do meet that 10K minimum by the end of February, just make sure that once your funds are received, you just send us an email and say like, "Hey, my name is so and so, and I'm investing from the 10K project campaign," so that we can keep track of who you are and how you found out about our investment.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if you guys want to send me that email and I can put it in a spreadsheet and send it over
Yeah.
to the Burdines, I can do that as well. So whatever's easier, so we don't lose track of it.
All right.
But I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to let Bruce go first, and I'm going to let Miss Kameko close us out. But Bruce, what are your final words to the community?
Guys, we're just so excited that we can bring like this legacy project to everybody. I always, we're always talking about like why you should do this. I know that we have investors. Here's the type of investor that this investment is not for. And I always shoot straight with you. If you're looking for a quick flip of your money, if you're looking like, hey, I want to invest 20 grand and I want like 20% of my money back within a year or two, this is not the investment for you. This investment is a legacy hold. This is generational wealth that we're talking about. We're talking 10, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to be receiving dividends from this one investment that you decided to make this year in 2025. And that's what I want you guys to take away with this, because these kind of investments don't happen a lot. We've invested in hotels before as limited partners, and we get in and we get out and we do get a return, but
But
they're
it's not,
gone.
yeah, it's not lifetime. It doesn't keep giving back to you.
Right.
And I would just say I hope you can feel our passion for the project and our love for the country of Belize. It's like we've been all over the world and lucky to have been able to travel that way. Everything from the gringiest like dirt Airbnbs and hostels that you can think of all the way up to like super luxury. And this is the place that we have decided to settle on and to put, our future roots and to really expand and uplift the community that's there. And we want to bring all our people along with us. So
This is one of the few things where you can come 10, 20 years from now and look at this hotel and say, I own that. You're going
That's
to own it.
beautiful. That's
yeah,
beautiful. It's a
bring your
beautiful
kids and
feeling.
be like, hey, that's yours.
Yeah.
Yours.
And
Yeah.
I don't, for me, I don't think there's anything more beautiful in this world to be able to do something like that for your kids and for your family. And like nothing says I love you like thinking about your future.
Mm,
All right.
that's it.
We
That
hope you
that
guys
right there.
join us.
That right there. That was the best final words. Nothing says I love you like thinking about your future. Wow. Congratulations, mommy.
Thanks.
This has been absolutely amazing. Again, thank you guys so much. Um, this won't be the last time, right?
No.
We will be in this place again because I know that you guys will have that whole island will be filled because I see your love for it. I see your love for the country. It shines through when you both talk about it. And so, um, happy to have met you, happy to be a part of this journey with you. I need to go balance my checkbook, see what I can do.
All right.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm gonna go check the books.
Yeah.
Have a good evening, everyone. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking your time out with us this evening. Talisha, I assume there are no questions in the Facebook group, right? I don't want to leave without asking.
No, ma'am. No questions at this time.
All right.
All right.
Out there in Facebook world, when you watch this replay, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it right there in the chat where the video is streaming, and we'll make sure we get all of those questions over to the Burdines. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Have a
Good
good
night,
evening,
everybody.
Thank you
everyone. Thank you
guys.
so very much. Good night.
Night.